Braumat, Intelligent Process Control System for Breweries and Malting Plants. What makes a good beer? A perfect brewing process. To enable you to offer this high-quality standard, we developed Braumat way back in 1977. The first recipe-driven controller-based process control system for breweries and malting plants. Since then, we have optimized Braumat continuously, developing it to meet your needs, all the time following a clear goal: to make brewery processes increasingly efficient, simple and reliable. Today Braumat is based on the Simatic S7 automation system and is used by hundreds of breweries and malting plants around the globe. In the next few minutes you will find out exactly what our latest version Braumat version 7 has to offer and what it can do, and you will see how your brewery can benefit. Braumat is a standard product. This brings you a great many advantages. For example, you benefit from standardized product lifecycle management. This is a defined process we use to ensure the high-quality standard of our products. From the initial consultation, implementation and maintenance, right through to updates. Further advantages of our standard product are comprehensive service packages, a hotline for questions and concerns, standardized quality and system tests, and a comprehensive approach that supports you around the world and around the clock. This is how we make sure your processes are always running, day in, day out. One highlight of Braumat: it can give you a progress update on your brewing process at any time. For example, you can see when all the malt has been milled, or when you can fill the mash tun. Braumat's graphical recipe system illustrates all these interdependencies within the process, clearly structured and displayed directly on your screen. In this diagram, the various subsections of your production process are itemized and highlighted depending upon progress. Here, for example, malt is taken from the silos and collected in a buffer silo before it is milled. The system can ask for confirmation from the operator, for example, to ensure the correct unit is selected. With Braumat's graphical recipe system, you know when the mills are starting up and what the temperature is in your mash tun. You can see exactly where you are in the production process and where the problem is if it has stopped. Because Braumat shows you not only the recipe sequence in one unit, but also the crucial synchronization operations between the individual units. This means process control at any time and at a glance. Route control determines the route taken by your beer and ensures that there are no material incompatibilities. A kind of demo cellar appears on your screen, complete with all cellar tanks and pipelines. This shows which tanks you can fill. You can follow the water discharge and the subsequent filling process. And you have absolute control over all the valves in your production area. Route control shows you the precise position of each valve. Think of it as your sat-nav for all your material transfers. It seeks out the best route for your beer and initiates all the necessary measures while still allowing you to intervene manually. You can be confident that your brewing process will run smoothly and that your data is secure, because Braumat has a kind of safety net. As a redundant server pairs work in parallel in hot standby mode, all process data is saved in duplicate. This protects you against unexpected failures and prevents downtime. Braumat logs your entire brewing process, enabling you to look back on it to see what went well and what could be done better. The data for the step log or other analysis of your brewing process can be saved in an external SQL database. You can access this using your internet browser. The log lists all recipe steps, including set points and actual values. It is also easy to call up the data on the move, such as on your tablet or laptop, for instance. Make your brewing process completely transparent, whenever you want, wherever you want. Braumat is used by breweries and malting plants around the world. So the process control system allows you to choose between different languages. Simply go to the selection box in the Application Center and choose your language. If required, you can also switch back and forth between languages. One of the key innovations in the Braumat version 7 is virtualization. With this function we have enabled Braumat to run almost anywhere. This facility is provided by so-called virtual machines, or VMs for short. They are the link between your operating system and Braumat version 7. Every computer has its own virtual machine environment. Virtualization with Braumat means reliability and independence. The system works at any time and anywhere, so that you are free to choose your own systems and components. Braumat opens up all the opportunities that virtualization offers for really good beer. Braumat enables you to configure your system the way you want it. So you enter the components of your brewery: silos, brewing lines, mash tuns, lauter tuns. And Braumat brings all the components and processes together into a single process control system. You can see your full configuration clearly laid out on the monitor. You can select your control systems, for instance, including their software versions, or create redundant server pairs. It is also easy to integrate your control station. Alternatively, you can link in a completely new area. Braumat grows with your requirements. You can integrate existing and new components without any difficulty, and thus shape your brewing process entirely in line with your requirements. Would you like to work with Braumat version 7 in the future but still have an old version installed? No problem, because Braumat is downward compatible. For example, you can use Braumat version 5 for your control systems and Braumat version 7 for your PCs. Simply click on Control System, select the version, and you're done. This means you are running with all components, and ultimately you'll have configured your brewery so that all your systems and components are working together smoothly. And the best thing is that you can use different versions of the control system at the same time. This is a great advantage, particularly when upgrading, as it allows you to update the control systems individually, incrementally, one after the other, and that means minimum risk with maximum process reliability. What's new in Braumat version 7? Working closely with master brewers around the world, we have developed a host of new features, among them the material compatibility feature in the recipe control system. This function allows you to see what material is located where inside your brewery system. Braumat also tells you which materials are compatible. You can make manual changes in the recipe editor itself, provided that you have the appropriate user rights. Another new feature of Braumat version 7 is the binary object. This means that you see at a glance whether you can start your motor or not. In earlier versions, you had to interpret complex figures on the status of the motor. Now the signals are clearly displayed, showing you at a glance when the motor can start and which conditions have to apply for this to be the case. New from Braumat: graphical visualization of process status and recipe progression conditions. Braumat also uses this type of display to show whether certain processes can take place or not. The binary object is used to present the recipe progression conditions or the continuous conditions of a sequenced chain in visual form. So you can read off which conditions have already been fulfilled for the subsequent processes and which have not. Another new feature now gives you the option of opening several windows at once. This makes it easier to run the plant in manual mode. New from Braumat: seller function. Braumat's seller function has also been optimized with visual display in mind. Your seller can now be represented in graphical form using standard tank and pipework objects. You can see what material is currently in the tank, as well as the fill level, temperature and pressure. In combination with route control and the material compatibility test, this allows you to run your seller process reliably. With Braumat seller functions, you can integrate your seller smoothly into the overall process and ensure that your quality level remains constant for perfectly brewed beer. Would you like to try Braumat but aren't ready to buy the complete version just yet? Then Braumat Lean is for you. This is an entry-level version that includes all the basic Braumat functions such as recipe management, sequence selection, and user selection. You can select the number of operations and access a fully engineered product. However, you can only connect one control system and you cannot use route control or integrate redundant iOS servers. But Braumat Lean can be upgraded to the full version at any time. Braumat is an open system. For us, this means that anyone can use Braumat. We offer you a system configured to your specific plant. You can install this in your brewery yourself or ask an engineering partner. You can also go for a complete solution from Siemens, precisely tailored to your requirements and needs. We are happy to help you build up the required technical expertise by providing a standard training program. This means you only buy what you want to buy, and you are in the driving seat. Braumat comes with expert service. Your contacts on our Simatic hotline are always there for you. Based on the following the sun principle, we look after your concerns around the clock. So your questions are answered at any time and faults are rectified quickly. Braumat is the core control system for a comprehensive product range. You can expand this core by adding many other components from the Siemens range. These include position, temperature or level sensors, pressure gauges, safety sensors or RFID, motors, drives, contactors, industry PCs, panels, laboratory management systems and MES systems. In short, the whole Siemens range for the brewing industry. So you can get all the components you need from a single source and make your production quicker, more flexible and more intelligent.